Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hey, John.
Oh, hang on. I'm sorry. I have to go discipline a bird.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Matt is dealing with his bird, and I'm here.
Okay, I wanted to talk about the reasons why I think people believe in God. And I believe in God myself, but I think that oftentimes you'll hear atheists say that people believe because they want something out of religion, whether they want to go somewhere after they die or whether they, something like that. But I think if you look at virtually every culture since people have lived in civilizations, you'll find that people have believed in various gods or various religions, and I think there's something more going on than wanting something out of it. I think it's that they're recognizing something within themselves. Otherwise, why would this be so prevalent in virtually every society?
Well, there's been various claims that humans are hardwired for religion, that we're hardwired for seeing connections with things that are maybe not there, or there's perhaps a human need to feel part of something bigger and embrace the transcendent. So there may be more reasons than just getting something out of it. Just the base transaction.
I'm curious what you mean, because on the one hand you seem to be dismissing the same thing that you're asserting.
No, what I'm saying is that I think that people believe it because there's truth to it that's inside of us. That it's not just because people want something out of it. I'm sure some people believe it because of that, but I also think that, I think religion is obviously man-made, the various religions, but I think the ultimate thing that represents is within all of us. And I think
I think it's within all of us too. I'm just curious as to what you mean by that, because when I say it's within all of us, I'm saying that this is just a part of our nature. That you seem to be claiming that you're convinced that people have believed and continue to believe by and large in most civilizations because there's some truth to it. And I'm wondering what you mean by truth. What aspect of this do you think there's truth to?
That there is a God that is the creator of the universe, and that there is more to the universe than is observable by science. Okay,
well, I already agree that there's, depending on what you mean by more to the universe than is observable by science, but going to the God creator thing, you believe that there is a God who created the universe. And this is the element that you think is true. Why do you think it's true?
I think it's true because I look at people and I think that, one of the things I like to say in arguments is that if you look at just like rudimentary material, that doesn't have any consciousness. But if I look at people and I experience people, I can tell that there's something inside of people that is more than just stuff, matter.
Okay, so you look at consciousness, and because you don't see it in anything other than human beings, although I'd say that to some degree you're going to see it in other living things as well, but this particular self-awareness, this particular kinship that you have, okay, there's something there that you don't have an explanation for, and then you say that you have an explanation for it. That explanation must be God. Why does that need to be? Why is that a plausible explanation for consciousness?
Well, because also another reason I have is that, the universe in and of itself, I don't believe that something can come from nothing.
Yet you think that's what God did?
I think it depends what you call God, but I think that there has to be an author and a creator, just like there has to be a creator for everything.
Were you created?
Directly I come from my parents, but if you want to trace it back far enough, then I would say yes.
Okay, but do you not, I apologize in advance, but do you not realize that this is just a big argument from ignorance? That I can't think of any other way that this could have happened, so it must have been a God. That has to be, I'm sorry, and it's not just you, this is most common, that has to be one of the most arrogant things I've ever heard. That you have surveyed the landscape, and because you can come up with no better answer than there must be this magic transcendent being who did all this, that therefore it is true.
Well, no, I'm not applying any attributes to it. I'm not saying it's a specific.
You are applying
I'm just saying,
to it.
I don't see. I'm just saying that there has to be a for all these things that exist in the world. There has to be a creator. That I don't see that as an outlandish claim.
There has to be an explanation for everything. But when you say creator, and when you start talking about God, you are assigning attributes. You are asserting an explanation. And with that explanation comes specific characteristics. I mean, I don't know what your particular view of what God is.
I would say you could. I mean, I consider my own personal spirituality, but I would say you could classify it as most like a deist type of view.
Okay, so you're going a more deistic route where there was some kind of first cause God who doesn't intervene in daily events.
Right, but just because he doesn't intervene doesn't mean that he doesn't care or that there isn't a purpose to things.
You're right, but it also doesn't mean that there is, and it doesn't mean that it does exist. You're basically. I don't understand how. So, in your point of view, there's really no objective truth to anything. Okay. You're taking a more deistic approach, which is that there must be some thing that caused all of this, and you're going to call it God without giving it any attributes.
Yeah, well, no, I'm giving the attributes. All I'm saying is that I think that I would give it the attributes that God cares what we do and if we lead moral lives. If I would give it that attribute, I'm just not.
Why?
Why? Because I think if there's something that created something that is, cares about that it cares the way it lives its life.
That's a big leap. That's a huge leap.
I don't see how that's a huge leap at all. I mean, why? It's like, why would you?
First of all, you've made the leap that there is something that creates.
Well, I can explain to you why I believe that.
And then you say that anything that would create necessarily cares about its creation. That's not a deistic view of God at all. The deistic view of God is a non-interfering God who is completely indifferent. That basically the first cause, first mover thing that got.
No, I wouldn't say that it's completely indifferent. I mean, I don't think that's.
I'm telling you what the standard deistic position is. Now you've got your own version of a deistic, a theistic God who's kind of deistic but also cares about what goes on. And I'm saying that you can't make any argument to get from A to B, to get from there is a God to it cares necessarily. And you haven't even established the A part, the there is a God.
Well, what I've tried to do is explain that I believe that something doesn't come from nothing, that there's a grander purpose and a meaning to life.
All right.
I think that's my personal belief.
No. You just made two completely different statements. One is that something doesn't come from nothing, and the other statement is that there's some grander purpose or meaning to life. Now, I have no position on whether or not something can or can't come from nothing. I don't particularly find that relevant, because even if it's impossible for something to come from nothing, that tells you nothing at all about what happened or what caused it. You don't know anything about it, whether it was a being, an intelligence, a natural law. You can't even speculate about things that happened before the Big Bang.
Right. Or whether there was nothing before the Big Bang. That's a huge assumption.
I'm talking about spirituality.
Well, who gives a damn about spirituality until you establish that there's something truthful in it?
Well, we can only. All of religion is only personal. I mean, it's speculation.
Okay, so basically, you believe this, and it's your own personal speculation, and you have no rational justification for it.
No, I wouldn't say I have no rational justification, because what do you believe?
Then
you're going to say I don't.
What's the rational justification? That's what I'm asking.